And you should be able to find that by scrolling to the top of your screen or the bottom of your screen. It'll be something that looks like this black bar that's on my screen. And then to the far right, there'll be the words more and 3 dots. And clicking on that should enable you to pull up a small menu, a drop-down menu that contains the word chat. Everybody want to see if you can find that? And there's a message in there for you all to answer when you get there. Tell us what your business is, but do it in the chat box. And where are you located? All right. And if you do that, right after doing that, then we'll get started for real. Maybe this is the full number of people registered, I think. Oh, it should be another one.
I just want to let you all know that I have a condition in my leg and hip that I need to stand up like every 10 minutes or so.
Oh.
So if you don't see me, I'm just watching a different way.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to turn the cameras off anyway, Kari, in a minute.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry to hear about your hip.
Thanks.
So we have Pam here, who is a hooker. Fiber artist, rug hooker. She was in my class on Saturday. Josiah's Meeting House, that was in my class on Friday. And Kari is here. I think there's one more coming, but as long as you've all found the chat box, it looks like, so that's great. If, as I'm speaking, you have a question that really can't wait till the end, and that's fine with me, just type it into the chat box and I'll see it ultimately when I stop talking, I'll see it, okay?
Okay.
So if that makes sense, I'm going to turn off your microphones and your cameras in a moment. Let's see. Unmute all. There we go. All right. Now your cameras are still on. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Okay. Now I'm turning your cameras off. I hope. Yep. Okay, so now I've just got me on the screen, which is good. And we'll get going. So as a reminder, this entire thing is being recorded, and you will be sent a link to a video that contains everything you're seeing on the screen now. You'll be sent that probably tomorrow morning, okay? And you can keep it forever. Campus pastor at Yale in New Haven. I'm so glad you're here, Kari. Okay, so today I want to go through some of the skills I've learned in making social media posts that are interesting because I've attached graphics to them, which is required of all of us. Every post you do should have a graphic or photograph or video associated with it these days because number one, that's what grabs readers' attention, and possibly more importantly, Facebook rewards you for using graphics versus not using graphics. So when that became the thing on Facebook, I was at sea because I was not good at graphics editing, and I failed Photoshop more times than I can count. And so being able to make some graphics was difficult at the beginning, and now I've just taught myself a bunch of tricks and tips that I'd like to share with you. In addition to showing you the video of this presentation, I will send you a document. Some of you already have it if you've taken a class from me in the past, a document called 100 Sites and Apps to Make You Look Like a Graphics Pro. And it's a lot of sites, websites, and applications that let you do some of the funky things I'm going to show you today and let you edit on the fly, edit videos, edit photos, create graphics. Okay, so you'll be sent that as well at the same time as the video for this. Okay, all right, so moving right along. We're going to talk an awful lot about how to go about making something that looks like this. The graphics here that you see are all created by me. And it was a series that I did for a local fitness center for the older crowd. And it was a series that I did that we called Motivational Mondays. And so I wanted the point of each Motivational Monday to be the same, to motivate people to fitness, but to do it in a funny, gentle way. So I found quotes about fitness or about be the best you can be sort of thing. I found those out on the internet, and then I found an accompanying photo, or if not, just something interesting to do with those words that I found. And we'll talk more about how I did that in a minute, but that's the kind of thing I'm talking about today. That and a little bit of photo editing. So, well, we already did that. We found our chat boxes. Okay, we're being recorded. Here's my promise to you. You will not need to know Photoshop for anything I've done today because I don't know Photoshop. Do it. The things you'll learn to do, or at least learn where to go to do them today, will be perfect for your social media sites. And I mean Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and blogging and whatever else you might have. They will be usable for your e-newsletters if you're sending out e-newsletters. They will be usable for websites. If you have websites that need updating, anything you're learning today that could be applied there. And some of what I do may be able to be used in print. So for print, we need a much higher resolution than some of these programs can handle, but some of them do offer print as an option, high resolution as an option. So with that said, let us begin. Here's this site appears in your graphics document that I'll send you called Bitmoji. So if you're really needing to create an avatar of yourself, a cartoon character of yourself, the place to do that is called Bitmoji, bitmoji.com, I believe. But if you do a Google search for it, you'll find it. Motivational quotes on the internet are the most popular type of post, second to demonstrations and tutorials. So if you see these kinds of things, know that people who are putting them up are doing it for a purpose, that it's popular. And what I mean by that is they get a lot of likes, comments, and shares, and that's what you want, especially on Facebook. So what you're seeing in front of on this screen is brainyquote.com, and it creates it's a site where you can type in the text and it will create the graphic for you. So I typed in the friendship that can seize here, and it overlaid it onto a graphic of its own choosing. In other words, it is designed for dummies. Didn't need to know anything to create this. That's a site that's also in the list that's coming to you. I've got somebody's, well, I had there we go. Someone's microphone was open that I just had to close. Sorry. Okay. Again, don't forget the chat box if there's a problem. We will go through all the ways you can make emojis. No, just know that there are sites that help you create emojis that we've all learned to use in text. Apple's got their own emoji for vomiting, just in case you need to know that. All right. But seriously, here's why we're doing this. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And in Facebook, that's almost literally true. The picture you're seeing here, I think if you've taken a live class from me, you've seen this before. It's an award-winning photograph, a little bit washed out in this presentation just because of the way I had to size it. But this is a good concept to keep in your mind as we go forward. A picture should elicit an emotional response, and it should, if possible, tell a story along with it. In the blink of an eye, it should tell a story. So type in the chat box if you've got a guess as to what the story is with this picture. It's a business. And type me what you think the business might be, if you can find the chat box. Anybody? Anybody? Animal rescue, Pam says. Pet shelter, Kari says. Yep, good guesses, and it's pretty close. Pet adoption, Barbara got it right on the nose. It's the national organization, the Humane Society, and it's an award-winning photograph. It is a really good photograph when it's correctly displayed. But it tells a story, doesn't it? You're immediately telling the world what this organization does. We hook up humans with cats, literally and figuratively. And it elicits an emotional response. When I show this on the big screen, most of the women in the room go, "Oh," at that time. So that's kind of what you're shooting for. You can't do it every time, but it's something you should strive for every time you're putting up a photograph or a graphic. So I'm just going to go through what I often hear of people in my workshops doing. They need a photograph, a certain photograph. Say they need a classroom with students raising their hand, and they will go to Google image search, which is a wonderful thing. And they will go to Google image search and search for children raising hands in class and come up with something like this. And then they will right click on it and save it to their computer and upload it to their social media sites. And all of that is fine to do, except it's illegal. Anything on the web is copyrighted. A photograph, a graphic belongs to somebody. Even though it's out there on the World Wide Web and we all have instant access to it, it belongs to somebody. So don't do that. Here's another example. I searched for guy being arrested, and this is what I came up with. And I found it on Google image search. I saved it to my hard drive. I uploaded it to this presentation, which is on its face illegal because that photograph belongs to a news organization. It was either the New York Times or a Wall Street Journal or something like that. So don't do that if you're doing it now, especially if you are for profit. You are profiting from somebody else's work. It's the same as if you've claimed a book as your own that you did not write, okay? So things you can do to circumvent that is to be very, very clear on what you're using that photo for and to just not use it. The best thing to do is to use your own photo or the photos from the stock photo sites I'm going to mention coming up. This is just a snapshot of a document I have. A lot of this stuff gets fuzzy on copyright law, but on the left you see favoring fair use, meaning it's okay for you to use that photo for teaching purposes, which I just did. Research, scholarship, criticism, comment, news reporting, all that's good. On the right-hand side, not okay to use it for commercial activity. And that's what I want to emphasize with those of you running businesses. If you took a photo of somebody else's rug, Pamela, that they have hooked, and you found it out on the web, and you put it up on your Facebook site to promote your rug business, you've violated the law. So do not do that. That's the whole point. Okay, so type in any questions you have along the way on that one, if you're confused, and I'll proceed. So here's what we want to, what I'd like to emphasize is that you don't have to be the world's best photographer to achieve some great graphics. It just has to be clear, not perfect, and it has to convey what you're trying to convey. So here's a photograph I took extremely randomly at a farmer's market one fall. And I got to thinking about it. Oh, I do the Facebook pages for a bunch of clients. Oh, one of my clients needed to put up a happy Thanksgiving message. So I said, oh, I could use that one of those photos I took at the farmer's market in the fall, and I uploaded it into this site called PicMonkey, P-I-C-M-O, monkey, like the animal. You'll see that at the bottom. And the beauty of PicMonkey, which I talk about again later, is that it pre-sized it for me. It pre-sized the photograph so that I didn't have to figure it out, because that's another aspect of editing that I flunked. I cannot figure out sizing. So this is the proper size for that Facebook cover photo, that large, wide banner at the top of your Facebook page. And I just opened PicMonkey, told PicMonkey I'm going to make a Facebook banner, which opened up this template with a hole in it that allowed me to drop my photograph into that hole. And then furthermore, this was the beauty of it, I can manipulate the photo within its proper size for the banner, and I could have added text. So I right within PicMonkey, added the text you see here. Happy Thanksgiving from all of us. And it was, I could have chosen any number of different fonts and sizes and colors. But here I just married my photograph with their templates and their offerings of typefaces and colors, and it worked out very well. So that's what I want. That's really the kind of thing I'm talking about throughout this seminar. So here's the document I will send to you. Again, 100 sites and apps to make you look like a master. And it's actually more than 100 now, and I try to vet these every couple of months to make sure they're still going. Here's another example. This is just a photograph that I found at a stock photo site, which we'll talk about in a minute. I just loved the photograph, and I got it for free. I downloaded it and saved it. And then when I came to be needing to create some graphics around advertising my own social media workshops, I came up with this phrase, which is really an old joke. Be outstanding in your field. Get it? The cow is standing in their field. So I used that photograph. I brought it into PowerPoint, which is how you're seeing slides here. I brought it into PowerPoint and I overlaid the text, and done. That's another way that I went about making a post on my Facebook page or used it as a cover photo. Okay, so you're going to want to use photographs or graphics like this. Great way to illustrate an abstract idea. So this is a snapshot of a blog that I used to write for the New Hampshire Small Business Development Center. So every week I wrote a long article for their blog, and this was about the idea of updating your website, but I had nothing to illustrate it. So I went to one of these stock photo sites and searched for planning, because this article was about planning your website. When I searched for the word planning at the stock photo site, it came up with this guy writing on the whiteboard. I mean, that's it. That's exactly what a web designer would do. So that was a perfect way to illustrate what I had. And that's why these stock photo sites are brilliant. They can serve you well when you know what you're trying to say and know the theme of what you're trying to say. There's another one. Again, I'm giving you some examples before I get into some specifics about how I did it. This is another one that I created using PowerPoint. It was a PowerPoint slide. So if any of you use PowerPoint in your work, know that you're halfway towards becoming a graphic designer there, because it's a great program. So I specifically wanted this yellow and black color combination to stand, because that's the most brilliant, for lack of a better word, color combination. It stands out. It's why our yield signs on the roadways are black and yellow, and why caution signs are black and yellow, because it catches people's eye. And I specifically wanted to do it in this case because whatever I was advertising here, a Reiki session coming up, was last minute, and I wanted it to stand out from the crowd on Facebook. Facebook is very blue. If you start looking at things, you see blue colored, blue logos everywhere. And that's because blue is considered a trusted color. In this case, I wanted it to stand out so people would notice, because this was a last minute thing that I was doing. Black and yellow is excellent. So I took just a yellow background, and I added the black box with some more white text, and then dropped in black text and dropped in the graphic. And because this was time sensitive, I found a photograph on a stock photo site of a clock. So that's just how that came to be. And this is easy stuff that you can all do. Similarly, had the photograph. This is not mine, it's a stock photograph. But I had the photograph of a sunrise, which is what I wanted. This was an ad for my church to invite people to come to Easter services. And so I needed to say what time were the services. I overlaid the text over somebody else's photograph that I got at a stock site, okay? So I've mentioned all the photographs. This is my favorite all-time stock photo site. It's called Pixabay. You can see it there in the upper left, Pixabay. Type in the chat box if any of you have used stock photo sites like this, and if it's not Pixabay, type me what it is, what you have used. I'd be grateful to hear about it. But Pixabay here is pixabay.com, and then you'll see it's got a search box right in the middle, and you can go there and search for what you see down below, a castle, or on the lower left, I think I had typed in racing, or starting line was what it was. And so it returns things based on what you're searching for, and there would have been bunches more options for me to choose from below these two options. Pixabay has some of the best collections. Oh good, Pam has a Pixabay account. What is the one you're mentioning otherwise? RFT 123, is that another stock photo site, Pam? That'd be interesting. Pixabay has beautiful high-res things that work on websites, but because they're high-res, they can also work in print quite often. So you can go there and say, I really need a picture of a rushing stream, a rushing mountain stream, and no doubt you'll come up with it. Pam is saying RFT 123 has free and paid images. Very good, just another site like this. So what I find is true of the stock photo sites is that they often will not show people's faces. In other words, they aren't presenting you free photographs that have people's faces because they probably have them in the paid section of these free subscriptions that I'm telling you about. So they, because it involves a model who would have had to have signed a release to use their photograph, they are less represented on these stock photo sites, human faces, than things like landscapes and trees and roads and public buildings and that type of thing, but not universally. So I'm saying do try searching for people when you feel that you need them. Pixabay is one that often does have people. They are often too young for my purposes. I'm often wanting older people, and they have a lot of photographs of younger people. And how can I say this? The people they do return don't look like they're in New England. They don't look like regular people. They're too well dressed and they're very hip and whatever. So that's another challenge with some of these sites. But Pixabay is one of my favorites. So let's move on here. Before moving on, know that what you're seeing here in the middle of my slide is a screenshot of the homepage of Pixabay. In other words, I'm not on their site here. I stole their homepage by using a screenshot. And screenshots are one of my most favorite tool to use. How many of you know how to do screenshots on your laptop or desktop and know how to do it in mobile phones? Write in the chat box if you don't. And know that, okay, Kari is saying you do on the mobile phone as well. Sometimes, Pam says. So on a Mac, it's easy to do a screenshot. It's a command. I do it so naturally I can't even tell you what it is. Command, Shift, and a 4, and it opens up. Let me see if I can do it. Yep. Command, Shift, 4 all together opens up this crosshairs sort of thing that I can go, I want to take a screenshot of this. And boom, it took it and put it in where my photos go. On a cell phone, it's almost the same mechanism. I mean, the same concept, save it to your photos. But let's say I go to a website, which I'm doing. Or let's say I'm trying to show something from Facebook. I can just open it up. And I don't know if you heard that click, but it's the home button and the on-off button together at once. So that's what with an iPhone, it would be different with some of the Android products. So what I'm saying is screenshots are some of my best tools. I'm able to take a screenshot and then manipulate it to say what I want it to say. And usually I do that for presentations, not necessarily for posting, because screenshots, like other photographs, belong to somebody. But I think it would be considered fair use even if you used it for the posts. So I take screenshots and then I manipulate them by adding text and the like. So we already covered this one, sorry. So know that I've mentioned PowerPoint a couple of times. PowerPoint is a free app on either your desktop or phones, and it's absolutely free and easy to use, in my opinion. It's the way it's like the gateway drug to graphic design, I think. So this is a site I really want to talk to you about. It's called canva.com, and it's what I use all the time for designing most of my social media posts, all of my email graphics, and many of my website graphics that I need, and all of my presentations these days, slides for presentations. So canva.com is a site that presents to you templates and enables you to call up a template and change every one of its elements to be consistent with what you want or consistent with your branding. And I'm going to go live to Canva in a moment to explain what I mean by that. But what you're seeing here is what happens if I opened up Canva. It immediately says, what are you trying to design? And you could say a social media post, which is a little too general, a presentation, a poster, a Facebook cover, that banner photo, or a Facebook post, and on and on. It gives you templates. And once you've told it what you're trying to design, in this case, on the left is a Facebook post template. So I could click any one of these free templates. It would be moved over to where I have a blue area at this moment. Let's say it's the rainbow cake. And I could bring that over and make the words rainbow cake say workshop tomorrow, and I can change the colors to be all of my colors, which is this blue, or change them to be purple, brown, and yellow, or whatever I want. So every element that you see in these templates is customizable, and that's the beauty of this. Let me know if any of you have already used Canva at all. Canva is a place where you can create designs that are able to be printed. In other words, high res. Pam has said she's played around with it a little bit, recognized 2 of my Facebook pages, but not, yeah, you can post directly. That's another beauty of Canva. You can post directly from within Canva after you've designed something, post it directly to your Facebook page. I don't usually do that. I usually save the graphic to my hard drive and then upload it to my Facebook page. In other words, I don't have the 2 connected, but know that they could be, and that's a nice way to do it. For me, it gets to be any graphic I create, I'm probably going to reuse and reuse and reuse, so I'd want to just save it to my hard drive anyway. But there's a feature that allows you to share from within Canva. Now I'm going to just pause for a second. You're going to not hear me for a moment while I change up and go to Canva Live, and then I'll come right back. Type me any questions in the chat box while I'm gone, but I'll be right back, okay? Hopefully you can hear me while I'm doing this. Having trouble getting online. There we go. Yep. So, you know, open your microphones so that you can talk to me while I'm doing this. Okay, now your microphones are open. Are you able to see at the top, what would you like to design? Are you all seeing that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good. Then I've achieved what I wanted to. So this is Canva, the site called Canva, canva.com. And it really is almost getting to the point where this is going to obliterate all the rest of the tools that I use, because it's so versatile. It's so, I can do anything I want here, and it's free. And there is a level that you can buy, and I haven't ever found a need to use the buying level, but I'll show you what I mean by that. So I've been using this a while, and Canva here knows that I'm a return customer, so it's already opened my account. You can see to the left, Chris Halverson's account, and it's asking me to the left and in the middle, what is it that you're wanting to design today? And so I would pick one of these options: Facebook cover, Facebook post, a poster, or just type in the word Instagram. Instagram, and it says, oh, you're going to make an Instagram post, Instagram sized. In other words, it's pre-formatting things for the size that that site requires. It's taking just a moment to populate. So over on the left are Instagram sized templates that you bring over, put it in that space. I just dragged it, and I can now manipulate any piece of it. Chris's workshops, okay? Any piece that you see here can be manipulated. I can change the photograph in the back and the color of this background. See up here, the color is yellow. It's telling me the color is yellow. I click on that. It's remembering the colors I always use, which is this color, which is my brand color. And see how I, with a click of a button, turned that to my color. Any questions on what I did there? Holler them out. Done. So I'm going to go back to, I've got your microphones open now instead of the chat box to help me have more landscape or more space on my screen. So because I've been here before, it's remembering these, all the designs I've ever made on Canva. They're all lodged in this program forever. So here's everything I've made recently, and as I scroll down, it goes back to the beginning of time, okay? So I actually have an assignment at this moment that I have to fix this cow guy, this cow you're seeing here. This is something I created yesterday for a client. It is meant to be the illustration of a Facebook ad he's considering running. And so we're working together on what should the words say, what should the image be, what colors does he need to use his logo or whatever. So I drafted this, the one with the cow, for him, and he doesn't like a couple of the elements. So I'm going to go fix it for him. And I want to show you, as if this was for real, what I would do to do that. So I click, again, this is living in my section of Canva, my brain, my memory. Calling it up, I just clicked on it. It remembers me from yesterday. And see over here, the options are edit what you see or use it as a template. And in this case, I want to use it as a template, which will retain the one that you see, but also open it up for me to use again and start manipulating and editing, but retaining the other one. So using as a template is what I want. Again, this is sized for a Facebook ad and a particular size Facebook ad. So it's calling it up, and it's also offering me other templates on the left in case I just totally changed my mind and want to start over. Got to get rid of my face here. There we go. So here it is, as I designed it yesterday. But the gentleman I'm working with would like the text here to be different, and he would like the logo to be moved. And so those are the two elements I want to show you how to do. But understand that this is a photograph that he had taken and sent to me. So I've been able to upload it directly from my computer into this program, and now I've got it forever to manipulate. So he would like this text to be the same as this text, typeface-wise, font-wise. So as I'm clicking onto the words natural beef as nature intended, up here at the top, it's telling me the name of this font is Allegra Sans blah, blah, blah. Allegra Sans Black, okay? So he wanted this type down here to be in the same font. So what I just do is hold my cursor over there, shade it, I select it, I guess is the proper term. I've selected that piece of type that I had dropped in there yesterday. Select it and switch it over to that typeface that he liked as opposed to the one that I had chosen for it, which was called Aramo. So once again, I'm just highlighting the text. I'm going up here and I'm choosing, it remembers recent fonts I've used, and there's the one that we want right at the top. And you see what it did. With a click of a button, it changed it. Any questions about that before I move on? And your mic's open, so shout it out. Nothing?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. So you see that, how easy that is to make you look like you know what you're doing graphic-wise, right? So he also wanted his logo to be not covering up the cow's leg. So I'm going to select that just by hovering over it and hitting click on my mouse and bring it over here. This is where he wanted it. I think it needs to be a little smaller if we're putting it over there. So that's what I did. I just dragged the corners to make it smaller. You see there's a purple line that comes up telling me I've aligned it correctly. And looking at this, I see that this text that I put here is centered within the space that I gave it, but I think I want it to be left aligned so that it can line up with the text that's above it. So just up here, just like all the other programs you've probably used, it's just one of the options. So now I've aligned that box of text, and I think the logo's got to be aligned as well, and the purple lines, and you're done. All right. So there's a new version that I will literally send to him when I'm done with this workshop. So let's say I'm happy with that totally and it's done. Here's what Pamela was referring to before. Up here in share, I could send it to someone else to review it before I do anything else with it. And in this case, I could send it to my client and say, here's a new version, what do you think? Or I can, I can send it to them and just say, you don't get to edit it, but here's what I've created. And you can trick this out to be connected to your Facebook page. Well, I'm not see, that doesn't come up now. So I'm gonna skip that for the moment and write you the instructions included in the document that I send you later. But what I usually do from this point that I've created something that I'm happy with, I go up here to download, and I can download it as a PNG, that's a type of graphics file, high quality. JPEG is a smaller version. JPEG is what we're all used to, right? But know that PDF print, if I was going to print this on a business card sized thing, it's about the right size, this size, I could just tell it print it as a PDF, which means it retains the highest quality of the image and nobody else can manipulate it after I'm done. And this thing here with a crown next to it, in Canva, the crown next to it means this is a paid feature. So if I paid for the privilege of using Canva, which I do not, but if I paid them their monthly subscription rate, which I think is $10.99 a month, something like that, I could have access to this feature, which is animating this photo, this graphic that I created, turning it into MP4. That just means a little bit of a movie, or a GIF or GIF, however you pronounce it, a little bit of moving pictures. So that's a paid feature that I don't have access to and don't want, but know that that's an option for all of you to use this in a paid form. Similarly, while I'm on that topic, over on the left here, the left-hand menu of templates that I could use, bring them over like I did before and use their parts to manipulate and turn it into mine. You'll see that they have the words free on them, meaning these are all free, but there will on occasion be one that's really awesome and it'll be a paid product. In other words, I don't have to pay Canva the subscription rate I just mentioned, $10 or something, but I could pay for the privilege of using one of their very elaborate templates, just paying like $1 for a one-time use of that template. So they have premium and they have free and premium features, and I've almost never had a reason to go with the premium features, okay? I hope that's clear, and I'm gonna switch back to my slides again now, so I just have to go away for a second, screen-wise. Hello, everybody. And
Hi.
hello, thank you. I know that you're out there. Your audio is still open, so you can shout out any questions you have while I continue. Any questions on Canva? I think that kind of ends the demonstration.
Oh, I'm good.
You're
I
good.
was just wondering about the difference between dragging a template and uploading your own photo.
Dragging the template and uploading the own photo. That's your question?
Yeah, I mean, I see how you would drag a template over to the working area, but
Yes.
does uploading a photo, your own photo, work in a similar way?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yep. I'm just going to choose an example from this still here. Let's say you used this one on the left, the social media one that says, "No, not all who wander are lost." Dragging that into the template area, you can manipulate the photo, the text. The photo and the text. And in this case, you could replace the, you could replace the mountain with your own photo, bringing it over. And there was a place that I didn't get to on the left. There was a place where it says upload. I think it was just the word upload. And then clicking that opens something that looks like every other place where you're asking to upload. It would give you a chance to say, go find a photograph on my hard drive, or go find a photograph in a subset of my hard drive. So that's built right in there. So you can start with just your photo. You don't have to start with the templates, in other words, and drag it into a space that is pre-formatted size-wise, and just start with your photograph and add to it. I do that all the time. Does that make sense, Gary?
Yes, thanks.
Okay. Woo! I love Canva. It's becoming my most popular, my favorite site to use. However, every now and then you just have to be cheesy, or you need a specific thing. So this is another favorite site of mine called Image Chef. And if you were, backing up to Canva and to all of these, I want to just say the way to learn it is to go there and play around. So go there tonight while you're on the couch, canva.com, and design a birthday card for somebody, a birthday post for somebody. That's the best advice I can give you to figuring out how it works and playing in a safe way before you have to put it online for everybody to see it. So do that with Canva, and do it with this one as well. So if you were to go to this site called imagechef.com, went there, you would be wondering in your head, what is Chris talking about? It looks like something from MySpace, if you'll remember the MySpace era, or it looks like something today from Snapchat. There's a lot of unicorns and flowers and things popping up and moving, and it's just kind of weird. But they present to you templates that you can, again, manipulate like we just did with Canva, but they've got some very specific purposes. So there's one called Sticky Note. So sticky note, right? We all have sticky notes everywhere. You can call up the sticky note one, like you're seeing on the right-hand side. That came up from this site called Image Chef, came up as a yellow sticky note with some words in it. And I was able to call it up, manipulate the color, and change the words. So I did this when I wanted people to remember to sign up for a class that was coming up. So a sticky note as a reminder. I turned it to blue instead of yellow, and I gave it my own words, and I saved it to my hard drive, and there it was, done. So they have, Image Chef has a lot of teeny bopper stupid stuff, and it's got a section called business. And in business, in the subset called business, they've got things like this that can be used that are not so cheesy. So Image Chef, it's one of my favorites, and it's really weird looking. Here's what it looks like when you go there. And these templates are under templates, and then, or you can just do a search for business and you'll get there. Again, it's free. There are paid products as well. This is one of my favorite things from there. You can call up a calendar that looks like this and change the dates and the year. And I do that when I'm trying to make a post that reminds people of something. Any questions on Image Chef?
Nope.
No? Okay. So here's another stupid one that you might find a reason to use it. We all know what memes are. This is a meme, the scary monkey. But you can create your own out of photos that are already stored at this site called Meme Generator, where you can load up your own photograph and turn it into something that looks like this. So a meme is just becomes a photo that we all recognize, and people are changing the text. You might have seen the one with the guy who sells I think it's Dos Equis beer. I don't always drink beer, but when I do, it's Dos Equis. And people change that to be, I don't always do X, but when I do this. You'll start recognize those. But if you want to make your own memes, go to memegenerator.com. All right, here's the one I referred to early on called PicMonkey. PicMonkey, PICMONKEY.com. Again, this one existed before Canva, and when all the photos and graphics were new on Facebook, this is where I went to learn how to make collages that would fit properly, et cetera, et cetera. So PicMonkey, you'll see at the top, it's much like Canva. I don't use it as much anymore because of Canva, but Canva does not have a collage making tool that I can find, and PicMonkey does. And again, it's free and you can pay for more advanced stuff. But if you went to PicMonkey, you'd see something like this, and you're telling it, I'm going to edit my own photograph. That's what this icon means. I'm going to touch up something that already exists. I'm going to design from new, and I want to create a collage. That's what these four icons are for. And the beauty of it here is that it's pre-formatted by size again, and it's the only way for the longest time I could do a banner photo on for Facebook. So here's an example of how I used PicMonkey. Is I took this photograph myself. It's my own photograph of people exercising at that fitness center. And then once I saw, oh, everybody's feet are off the ground, I was able to bring it up, the photograph, into PicMonkey, tell it I'm making a Facebook banner here, and then add the text that overlaid it. And that was, you know, I mean, that literally took about 7 minutes to make it. And again, then you create it and save it to your hard drive, and it's yours forever. Okay. So here's my friend the cow again, and this too was pre-formatted, pre-sized within PicMonkey, and then saved forever. So any questions on that site, PicMonkey, or how to do something that I've already demonstrated before I move on?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to talk for a moment about infographics. So backing up to where we started, you really must include a graphic or a photograph or a video with every post you do on social media, because your reading public expects it, and Facebook rewards you for doing so. In other words, if you don't do it, they won't deliver your information as high up in people's news feeds if you don't include any photographs. One moment while I take care of my throat. So let's say you're in the business that is very wordy and you need to explain to somebody on Facebook a very complicated thing. This might apply to you, Kari. You're trying to explain certain theologies or something like that. The best way to do a lot of information as a graphic is about something like this. So something like on the left, it's a clipboard with bullets on it, but that's a graphic that somebody created and brought in to this document I was reading. So we call those infographics, and that's a key term for you to know, infographic, because Canva and PicMonkey that I just went through have a template called infographic. And so when you go there, it'll say, are you trying to create an infographic? And it'll give you some pre-formatted type of design that you can then drop in and add your words to it and save, and you're done. So that's, I just thought this was rather brilliant, the way to talk about all these complicated things on the left, but to do it in a graphically interesting way to get people's attention and hopefully help them remember what it is you're saying. And by the way, by brain science, we know that when you associate an image with a piece of text, people are more likely to remember the text because there was an image associated with it. And that's another business reason why you should do that. So that clipboardy thing, we'll call that an infographic. Up on the left, you'll see that icon here is called illegal image. And that is an icon that I created using a logo generating site, which is, there's 3 of them listed in the document that you'll get sent to create your own logo. And I was just using it as not as a logo, but recurring feature that I could attach to every time I stole an image to alert you to that. So I got this image that you're seeing. I brought into here from a printed report, a printed annual report. So it's definitely stolen. But
So are you telling us you stole it for your presentation so that we don't reuse it for anything commercial?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one reason I did it. And also to show you how I created the icon that says illegal image.
Got it.
All right. But yes, please don't use this in anything commercial. Well, it came from UNH. So that's one of those where the jury would still be out, literally. University of New Hampshire is a public institution, and therefore as members of the public, can we use it? The legal question has not been confirmed. All right. So here's another infographic that I made using Canva. I had all of these things I wanted to say in one post, which really I should have just broken it up into 4 different posts. But I wanted to see how the infographics thing worked in Canva. So Canva gave me this sort of square design with 4 boxes, and it gave me the lines, and it gave me other colors than what you see here. And it gave me the icons that were built in. Okay, so I was able to, no, I'm sorry, I found those icons within Canva, but brought them into this template that was from Canva. So I got this image of a watch, and this image of a planner, and this image of a clock. And the words are all mine, and I was trying to present this very complicated, lengthy concept in as short as way as possible. So this is it's a little too big for Facebook, but it does work. On Facebook, you'd see maybe half of it and a person clicking on it, then it would open up to show the full thing. It's too big for that, but it's something that I use in presentations and I use in print. I've had this document printed out for a workshop that I do about organizing. All right, so the point there being, infographics are great. People love them. And to the extent that you can tell your story using graphs or a series of little icons like you see here, that you should do that rather than just blabbering out at them with text. Turn your complicated ideas into graphic expression, okay? Any questions on how I did that? Anybody?
Nope.
Okay. So, yep, here's another example of combining 2 concepts that I came across. The heart thing towards the bottom is a logo I was trying to create for my church, which ultimately rejected it. That was all right. But we were trying to use it to illustrate, trying to use that logo to illustrate certain things we were doing. But I created that in one of the logo generating sites that will be mentioned to you in the document that I'll send you. I think this one was called Logo Garden. All one word. I think that's the name of their site, and they now have an app. So they presented the heart shape and the plant within it in different colors, and I was able to get in there and manipulate the colors to be exactly what you see here. And that was the beauty of it. It's just a little teeny little logo that once I created it, then we set it aside and we could use it anytime that was called upon. Okay, Design Mantic. Back to, I should read my own slides. Design Mantic is where I created that. Again, there are 3 of these logo generating sites mentioned in my document. And once I pointed this out to you, you're going to start noticing these types of things that other people are using, especially if you go looking at stuff related in the fitness world, health and fitness and exercise. You'll start seeing that same guy who's lifting weights or little stick figures and type thing. But you know, so they're good to start with, and then manipulate them to customize them to be your own. So any questions on my logo generating things? No. Mics are still open. No. Okay, so here's some advice as you go forward and think about using some of the tools that I've mentioned. And when you sit down and go, what am I going to do? Don't forget the simple things. The social media world, the web world will put up with cheesy, as I mentioned before. So know that if you use Word or if you use Pages, that's kind of the Mac version of Word, and PowerPoint, built into all those programs are clip art. Those of you who are old as I am, remember when clip art is what we had.
Oh.
What was that, Pam?
I didn't know. I have a Mac and I have never seen the clip art.
Yeah. So it's built in to a lot of the programs, a clip art section. It's often hidden now, but what you're seeing here is part of my PowerPoint program on my Mac, showing if I clicked on it, clip art would come up. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, this is showing you Word, but the same happens in PowerPoint. If I clicked on that, something like the menu to the right with the smiley faces come up, and know that there's a whole library of clip art that predates emojis, or however we pronounce that, that you can grab and drop into the designs that you're making, or grab and save them to your hard drive and drop them in and bring them up into Canva to add to something you're designing there. So clip art, you know, it's cheesy and sometimes it's the exact right thing that you want. I use smiley faces a lot. So again, just going forward here are some of the favorites that I've done over the years, my portfolio of graphics that I'm proud of how I presented them. So this again goes back to a blog I was writing. The writing was about how to thank, the theme was how to thank your customers. It was a customer service blog for a client, and I was looking for a way to illustrate the concept of thanking, and I came up with loving, and there's a heart built into the latte. So that's just a stock photo. Again, dropped it in to illustrate the blog because I had no other ideas of how to illustrate the blog post. Similarly, a blog about tax time, how to take home office deductions. So there's a home built out of money, sort of perfect. That was found on Pixabay. That photograph was found on Pixabay. Okay. When all else fails, take the words that you're dealing with and turn them into something interesting if you don't know how to illustrate whatever the concept is. So the three words you see here are connect, commit, close on the left. That is a way to describe the purpose of a Facebook ad would be to connect with somebody, get them to commit, and get them to close the deal. That's what I'm talking about. So I didn't know what to do with that. So I just made something fun using the 3 C's. And so anytime you're using, have a text concept, and figure out what the graphic options are, go this route. So I just took the C and made it giant and let the other words remain small and in a different color. And then to make them interesting, made it go vertical rather than the way we normally read. So think of that when you've got time. And again, go to Canva tonight and fool around and play. Make a birthday card for somebody, design something for an event, and you will get to be familiar with it and adept at it very quickly, I promise you. Here's another one that's it's a template was the photograph, which is a woman holding out a book, and the blank space of the book was right for me adding my text to it. So this was a workshop I was doing on how to sell your books using Facebook and video. So it's my words superimposed on their photograph and their book that was designed to have the words added to it. That was within Canva, and it lives there forever, and I can go back and make those words, change those words to be anything I'd ever want. So find a stock photo to fit the theme that you're doing, and then find the space within that photo where some text will fit. You saw that with the cow that I had done for the client. There was space on the grass to put the text, okay? The most common thing I ever do when I'm designing something is repurpose from my old stuff. So I will have, say, designed my own business card in Canva, but then I've got that blue background and the text about me to work with forevermore, or to take those fitness things and repurpose them for future use. So this was another way to illustrate a blog post. This was writing about a client, and she gave me permission to take the photographs that were on her website to illustrate the article about her. Anytime you're dealing with a website, it's easy to download anything you see on a website, but again, you should get permission. So I went to her website and I got 3 different photographs in this case. And what you see here is a collage version of a Facebook cover photo, using 3 different photographs that I dropped in. This was built in PicMonkey. So it's a Facebook cover photo using 3 photographs, making a collage, and then overlaid with this blue box that indicates who it is, the business that was in question. Okay. This is another good tip. Develop some themes over time. So decide you're going to do a week of, in this case, it was a week of clients, and each client banner had a collage featuring a few photographs and this blue thing talking about them. Themes are good. Themes are great on Facebook. So it's another one, a client of mine, they won a bunch of awards, theater awards. And so I wanted to talk about each award that they won, one at a time, one day, one for each day. We're just about up against our time here. And so I developed a graphic theme, a design that I could drop in the various elements for each award, to talk about each award in detail, one a day until I was done. So there's so I did like 12 different ones that were, maybe the next one was blue instead of purple, but it always had a photograph and the oval, and it always had the name of the word at the top, okay? Another series at Christmas time for the fitness center. So Christmas time, green and red. It was always, the photograph was always on the left and the text always on the right. It was, what was her best tip? Here's what she said. And the next one was maybe just the reverse with the photo on the other side, but still green and red. So think about themes to reinforce what you're doing. When you're totally stuck as to what to post about, so if you've taken a workshop from me or have with other social media types, know that you're supposed to keep up a posting rate of once a day, every day, no more, no less. And if you are stuck for ideas, find a quote, motivational or not, but find a quote that relates to something that's happening in the world or happening in your life or happening in your business at that moment. Find the quote, just put it over an interesting colored background like I did here. So this was in the middle of one of the more horrible winters we'd had. And it was for the theater that I represented on social media. And I just did a search for Shakespeare and winter and came up with this quote and just took the words and put them over a colored background. This was one of the more popular things I did on that site. It might relate to the fact that it was winter and we were tired of it, but know that that's an easy, simple thing to do when you're stuck. I do this a lot. I take photographs of photos out in the world, or I take photographs of signs out in the world. So this was a sign at that fitness center, actual sign that was on somebody's desk next to an actual bowl of strawberries. And I just took the picture, so I got both concepts all at once and made just a post about that, those 2 elements, the sign and the post, and said, come in for Fresh Fruit Friday. I find a lot of things out in the community. On the left, a coffee sleeve. It's blurry here, but for real life, it was clear. That was my post one day, share the love. On the right-hand side, a sign I saw on a sidewalk in Savannah, Georgia, which I thought was fun. I just used that for a post. So this was back to where we started. I got all the photos at a stock photo site. I found the sayings, which related to motivation and fitness and all that. I found many of the sayings by searching for the word fitness within Pinterest. So Pinterest is really big on these types of motivational things, and the words don't belong to anybody. You can put them in quotes if it's just one sentence, and that's perfectly legal. So that's how I created that series of fitness posts. These were all done in PowerPoint back when I didn't know the other sites didn't exist, and I do know PowerPoint very well. It was easy to make, turn them into slides. So every slide in PowerPoint, you save a button, push a button and save it as a JPEG, and a graphical photograph that nobody can change after you've saved it, okay? So with that, I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope that you will find my Facebook page and give me a like there, but I want to give you a chance to ask questions at this point before we sign off. Anybody still out there?
I am, and I'm good. It's again, it's another great presentation, Chris. Thanks.
Okay. Are you inspired or intimidated?
Both.
Is the same true of the rest of you, Kari and the two Mollys?
Yeah, this is great. I've been hearing a lot from my colleagues about Canva, and I'm looking forward to playing.
Yeah, once you get in there, you can learn it, and you're going to be a pro within minutes. It's really awesome. Really, really awesome. I recently designed my own business cards there and had them printed, and the printing is awesome as well.
Printing right from Canva?
Yep. It acts like a printing company as well. There's a button you can push and just send the file to them. It magically comes to your mailbox a few days later.
Huh.
It's really cool. I wish I had it within sight, but I don't. Molly's?
It's just one of us now, but yeah,
Oh.
I'm excited to play around with it and make some posts for Facebook and stuff.
Okay, and know that if you're on Instagram as well, there are templates for that within Canva, and if with just a little bit of practice, you're going to be pros. I promise. Anything else? There are 2 more webinars coming up, I always have webinars coming up, but the 2 coming real soon. One called Advanced Facebook Techniques Your Business Needs. Pam, you took that class live on Saturday. You don't need that. One on,
I need a remedial.
this might be a way to do it. It's an hour. Yeah. And then on April 10th, Facebook Advertising Explained. I'm a real fan of Facebook advertising because it works and it's cheap. How's that for a summation?
Good. That's good.
All right, I'm going to sign off, and I will send you the recording of this probably by tomorrow morning. Last chance for questions. Anybody? Comments?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Barbara, Kari, not Barbara, Molly, Barbara, whoever, Kari, and Pam, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you'll join me again in the future, and have a good rest of the afternoon.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks now.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
now.